And welcome to Uplifting Humans, where we honor, empower, educate, and inspire the listener. I'm Salindran Buller, your host. Our guest today, a returning guest, Waxela Sananda. She's a quantum embodiment coach, a galactic shaman, ascension trainer, and best-selling author of The Love You Crave, a course in ascension, alchemy, and connection to the divine. And she's a speaker and a trainer, and she is here to join us on our third episode of 6 in the activation, uh, activating your ascension in calibration and activation explained. Now, before we get started, we want to remind everyone of the importance of the physical body and inner self being congruently aligned and stabilized for a rapid clearing into the future. So, on that note, we've got Waxela. So, Waxela, now we are really digging deep into this, third episode, Calibration and Activation Explained. Where do we start and how do we dive in?
Thanks, Cylindrin. Yeah, so I think I didn't plan a speech around this. I just want to kind of talk about what is happening and how it's all working and what we can do. And so with activation and calibration, we all know there's a change going on the planet, and anybody that's in tune with energy at all is feeling stuff. And we were talking just before we got on about how it's as if these big, intense, energetic shifts come through, and we just get taken out sometimes. And it happened to me a couple days ago where I just couldn't. I got out of bed, drank a couple cups of coffee, and just could not function, even though I needed to do stuff, had plenty to do, and I just had to lay down. But in that lying down and surrender, I decided, okay, there's something in this that I will receive, because I could feel the intensity of the energy. So I opened my heart to allow myself to receive whatever was there. And I got a massive download of energy. It was as if the sun was exploding from inside of me. And then I saw this stream of symbols passing by my inner vision. And I just opened to receive and say, okay, I just allow and open to this and invite the experience in. And so that I'm sharing that because that is activation and calibration. And you can't always plan these things. Sometimes it just shows up and you have to go with what is present. And I think that's a really important message about the world and the earth and the energy that we're in now. We have to be flowing with it. We have to be fluid with it. Sometimes we have to say no to those things that we thought we could say yes to, because the energy is taking us in a different direction. And as we tune in, and that is the calibration to this new energy, it's really a tuning in to our heart center, a tuning into the heart of the earth, a tuning into the heart of the sun, and just allowing that alignment to happen within. Then we receive direction from there. And we have to be willing to surrender to that. And we can't always plan it or know what it's going to look like. And sometimes we have to allow it to take us somewhere that we didn't plan to be. And whether that's, an online meeting, whether that's a meditation, whether that's going back to bed or something completely different, it's this willingness to receive, to allow, to surrender to what is, and to then invite the new energy, invite the experience through, I always say through the heart, because we can't always understand it with our mind. And the heart center is the portal where all of the activations empower us, and we can embody through the heart. And I feel like in saying that, it's not necessarily, you don't need to technically know how, but just it's encoded information. Allow through the heart it, just receive and be with what that is and go do it, rather than trying to figure it out. And you'll start to open up and activate and allow more and receive these downloads and energies through your heart center into your body, and just things start to flow. And and we do have to give up our agendas sometimes.
Oh, definitely. And we live in an age where we're so programmed in doing all the time. How much from the minute that you get up in the morning to the end of the day, how much can you accomplish? And I don't know about anybody else, but I can speak for myself. From the minute that I wake up, I have a complete list, and thank God, I do have a practice, just like many of you in the audience. Any practice, whether it's taking your pet for a walk, or whether you're out there going for a walk in nature, or jogging, or whatever it may be. For me, it is definitely tuning into where I am energetically, and then of course doing my meditation practice. Now, some of you may know I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher and have been for a couple of decades. And of course, the importance of tuning in to your inner self. If you cut yourself physically, obviously you'd pay attention, but tuning in and really listening to your inner self, like Waxela has just explained, and being congruent with it is so important, because you have to be able to align not just your physical body, but what's going on inside. And in the process of you allowing for your inner and your outer, all of a sudden there'll be a stabilization effect that will automatically occur. Now, um, and that also is, obviously you getting out of your own way and allowing for that to happen. And Washayla, I think this is a really good opportunity for us to explain to the listener that, by you ending the past, whatever the past may be, there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of suffering, which was connected to the past. Now, by you ending the past, such as your ancestral patterns and forces, many of us will undergo a resetting of our inner foundation. And by you actually resetting your inner foundation, and the way of life will automatically allow us to progress towards wholeness, to oneness, to group consciousness, because that's what it's all about. This new age that we're stepping into, it's all about all of us coming together. And, I mean, how much have you realized, what Shayla, that you have to reiterate? And internally, I know I do it constantly when I see a pattern come up, when I see a trigger that shows up in my life. I'll have to recognize it right away and allow for it just to play its thing and leave. Because otherwise, I'm going to be stuck in the old way, stuck in a pattern. And of course, what's happening right now on the external is something of higher frequency of, and it goes to the complete or the wholeness of everyone. And so if you're still separated on the inside and you're trying to complete the outside, that isn't going to happen. That isn't going to happen. How do you feel about that, Shayla?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think you definitely hit on something really important, and that is it's the willingness to let go of those things that no longer serve our highest good. And the first step in that is becoming aware of them, because a lot of that is subconscious programming, that it's subconscious. We aren't aware of it. So the first piece in that is just becoming aware of what your triggers are, making them conscious, noticing in non-judgment, and then having the willingness to work with them and release those things, rather than, allowing yourself to continue to be triggered by the same issues. Because like in this energy, those things will keep coming up faster and stronger until you really do become aware, notice, and then make that choice to release them. The energy is perfect right now to overcome our limitations, our blocks, our triggers, those things that are upsetting us, and let that old programming go, and then bring in the new programs. I do a process called recoding, where you recode, you choose a new, basically a new program, a new way of being to replace that old one, and it's becoming conscious and then instilling a new way of being when you become aware that that old program is showing up, until you repeat it until it's habit now to be the new program, the new code. And so these are things we can work with if we're willing to become aware. And as you said, the collaboration energy now is so powerful, and I'm really feeling like this is a time where we are able to activate each other. We are able to, just by listening to something or talking, or sharing energy person to person or in a group, we're sharing coding, we're sharing energy upgrades, calibrations, activations with each other, and we're upgrading together. And it really isn't a time to go be the lone wolf. It's a time to gather. And it's funny because we're still in social distancing right now, but I think it's lifting, and even this way, even online, even on reading, emails or sharing messages or getting on your social media, you can receive codes from others and upgrade so quickly and activate these things in you that you desire, these traits that you desire to open up to. It's really a powerful activating time for that energetically.
That's right. As much as, the cosmos is out there, the cosmos is within us. And so when you have someone who is highly attuned to higher frequencies, with them just being, in your vicinity, in your environment, or in your consciousness, in your awareness, all of a sudden that will shift you. That will shift you. And more people, you may not be able to put your finger on certain things because you're coming online, but I can assure you, uh, um, where I am today, it's taken me a lifetime, but you can do exactly what needs to be done instinctively without really, um, thinking about it, putting that thinking process in it. Intuitively, now's the time. The portals have opened, and what's going to happen is, without you understanding, without you knowing, wanting, needing any of that, all of a sudden, all your DNA is getting shifted. All of your DNA is going to get an upgrade, just like a new computer. You turn your cell phone off, and all of a sudden you're like, well, what happened to all my apps? They're all reconfigured. What happened here? Same thing is happening with you. And so the beauty is that you don't have to spend, 50 years in order to be at this level. Now is the time that when you come online with this work, it's it's like years off of the process. And that's just because of where we are today energetically. And I think there's a lot to be said, that we are the way that the universe gets to know itself. And so the universe wants to get to know itself at a higher level, at a higher frequency, in wholeness, in oneness, in purity, in wonder, in consciousness, in all of that. And Washela's got an awesome program. Maybe Washela, you can share with the listener the program that you do have, in case they want to tune in and maybe catch up more on, I want to be proactive. I don't just want to sit here and wait until my body says, okay, now you're permitted to move.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Well, okay, first of all, I wanted to mention about, you're talking about the ability to tune in and receive and activate so much faster now. And part of that is, I'm sure a lot of people have, some people probably haven't heard of the crystalline grid of energy grid around the planet Earth. It's also in our DNA. And that crystalline blueprint is activating. It's like it's being turned on, and so that grid work around the planet it's like pathways and pathways of information that are connected directly to the DNA within us. So as we do this activation work within ourselves, we can tune into those pathways, that energetic presence around the earth, and really just open up to see what's there. And we do this during our dream time, during meditations. And part of it is just, you don't have to know like the how ABC of how to do it. Part of it is just consciously tuning in with your awareness and saying to your higher self, I want to do this. I want to receive an upgrade. I'm ready to move to the next level. So show me what to do, or what do I need to surrender to allow this, this upgrade. And amazing things start to happen. So start to play with that if you're not already. And I do have a program called Ascension Training. That's my signature program. But I'm also right now working on a membership platform within a site so that I can bring people in and do master classes regularly with people that really want this kind of information. So this is timely. I didn't even tell you about this, Salindran, but
Yes.
in my email, I have an email list that I send out to a couple times a week about what's going on energetically, and just different things that you can do. And I'm doing I have lightning and thunder here. I'm sorry if you heard that, it startled me. But I have a free masterclass that I'm offering. So for anyone listening to this, not the replay, it's going to be April 29th, which is Wednesday. And that's a free masterclass. And if you want to come, it's called Activating the DNA Codes, also timely with what you were just talking about. And it's really about how it's about this conversation, how to activate right now, completely free for anyone who wants to show up. You just have to get on my email list through my website, and then I'll send you the information so that you can get in. So hopefully you can post my website down below, and then anybody who wants to come to that class, and then we'll be doing that regularly through my membership site. So that's one way that you can constantly get into classes and things, and I'll be offering other people's classes, podcasts and things on there. But also I do have a signature class called Ascension Training for people that really want to go deep, really want to, activate at a high level and work with me kind of side by side for a 12-week process.
That's awesome. So there you have it. And definitely all of our episodes, they do actually at the bottom have Waxela's website. So, and of course, you can always look it up if you're not, able to write this down at this point, and the importance, I
You
also
froze
want
for me,
oh
Salindran.
no, yeah, you're frozen. Okay, so this is definitely internet. Is thunder still happening over there? You're still frozen. Well, we'll see if what looks like
You're
you're
back.
back. It must be that thunder over there because
That was so loud. I don't know. Could you hear it? Because it
yes,
was like, it startled me.
yes.
And then you went away.
I thought, oh, she must have, painters or someone at the house.
No, it's been pouring rain off and on all day today. So that's just,
Ah,
yeah, can't get away
okay.
from that.
Well, this is it. Mother Nature, has her ways. So I want to dive in a little bit just for the listener and the importance of self care, because I think self-care at this point is really, really important. I don't know about anyone else, but I do. I sometimes feel guilty taking that time out that my body's trying to ask me for. And I think it's because we're so used to having all these commitments and a calendar full, and then all of a sudden, how could we get out of it all? So I just want to make a note out there that self care right now, the biggest service that you can actually do at this time is look after yourself. That's physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Just look after yourself. And if you have to drop everything and you have to say, I just wasn't able to do it, don't feel like you owe someone an explanation, because you know what, I think everyone's going through the same thing. And what are some of the ways, Waxela, that we can actually have some extra self-care at this time? What can we incorporate into our lives?
Oh, great question. For me, I find meditation and breath work very powerful. This morning again, I woke up and I was tired, and I did breath work before I even got out of bed, meditation and breath work. And breath work gives you more energy. So that really is a way, not only is it caring for your body and helping your body, it also helps you feel better and have more energy and more oxygen and the ability to hold more light in your body. So I would highly recommend right now, especially for anyone that's struggling with the energy or struggling through blocks, really open yourself up to trying out breath work. I have a breathwork class. There are so many wonderful breathwork classes out there and techniques, and Wim Hof, Soma. I mean, there are just endless numbers of practitioners. So I know you can get free classes on YouTube too if you just want to explore and try some different things. I highly recommend that. If you're a meditator and you enjoy meditating, it's a great time, like even before bed or or right before getting up in the morning, to recalibrate, to set yourself up. And a lot of people are still stuck inside, most of the world actually. So you can't really take a spa day right now, but you can do a home spa day where sometimes it's just taking something off your plate, like you were talking about, cylinders. Sometimes it's just like, oh, you know what, I said I was going to do that, whatever, the Zoom call or something, and I just don't have the energy. Maybe you just need to take a nap, and that can be self-care. Maybe you need to, maybe it's something with your diet. Maybe you need to tweak something there, or maybe you need to eat a donut. I don't know. But
No.
you got to check in with yourself and just find out, sometimes it's like, what does my inner child need to feel good right now? I'm not promoting eating junk food, but sometimes that's what we need, just to feel okay. And that's okay sometimes. So it's just check in with your heart and see what it is that you need in that moment. Sometimes it's connecting with friends. I know a lot of people are feeling lonely right now, that especially people that like to connect, and so that can be difficult, to call a friend, or commune in whatever way that you can, and don't isolate if that's upsetting to you.
Yeah. And calibrating and activation is a real process of inner exploration at the same time as, embracing what is coming your way. It is about being, it's not about doing. And so I think that there's a lot to be said about, if I have to just put my feet up, maybe I have to just go sit in a nice Epsom salt bath. It's okay, and I don't need to judge myself, because that's what I need right now. And then all of a sudden, things will shift. And the other thing that I want to just explore as a Kundalini yoga teacher, and Waxela and I have gone to numerous workshops and done tons and tons of work around really balancing out our energy systems. As you know, that we've got major and minor energy systems, or chakras, within our, within our bodies. Everything does. Even Mother Earth has, energy centers around the world. And so our energy centers, we have 8 primary ones, that the majority of the belief systems actually have 8, 7 to 8. And they actually line up with Mother Earth's energy centers. And so when the planet is actually shifting energetically, it's going to affect us. So the other thing that you really need to zero in on is, how are you feeling? What area of the body are you feeling it? And maybe what you need to do is just bring your awareness to that area of your body. You know, one of the things that I always like to share is the first 3 energy centers are really gifted to you for this life in this realm on planet Earth. So unless they're completely lined up in alignment, you cannot really open up your heart the way that you should be. And now, once you've aligned the lower 3 energy centers, now the heart is open. Now, the heart being 5,000 times more powerful magnetically than the brain, all of a sudden, now the rest of the centers line up. So, maybe the next episode, after this series is over, where Shayla and I, we can work on something where we can present to you. And I have people who sign up on my website. They get actually the entire energy centers, what they are, and how they affect you, and what you can do about it. I have a PDF that I send out to people, but we can cover that in detail uh, in about 3 weeks. And so I want to bring your attention to the energy centers of your body. And Washayla, I'm sure you have lots to say about the energy centers, and the energy centers being aligned properly, because that's how the energy is going to flow through your system to activate your DNA.
Yeah, thank you. That's all really excellent advice. And I love that you're sending out, PDF and information on that. Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, we need to be in alignment in our body first, in order to connect with the outside world. And it really is, like you said, the embodiment into the lower chakras is what has us feel in this life, feel in this body. And that is how we can embody ourselves more. And you, as a Kundalini instructor, practitioner, you're much more, I'm sure, able to speak into this than I am. But again, going back to the breath work, I think, that really does help you get all the way to the bottom of the spine and unlock that energy. And the meditations, and just honoring the body and being present, feeling what you're feeling, allowing yourself to feel in non-judgment, and just, open, continuing. I like to say, go into like a communication, a collaboration, a communication with the body, and ask yourself, ask your body, what do you need in this moment? What do I need to release? If you're having pain, if you're having, if something feels out of balance, tune in and ask yourself internally, what do I need here to come back into balance? And sometimes just doing that process of communicating, having a communication with the body, can help you realign.
That's right. That's excellent, because everyone talks about, you only have this moment, and it goes back to, why do you only have this moment? Because this moment is the only moment that you have power over, because your awareness is right here. It's your awareness that creates, it's your attention, it's your awareness that actually navigates and allows for a greater expression of yourself, which is a part of the whole. And so I think that the key here is not just calibrating and activating. Um, it, when I think of activation, I think, okay, there is some form of movement or action that I have to create. And the only movement that you have to create is take your focus off of wherever it is and bring it right here, right now, in this moment where your power lies. And so that being said, I think that there is, the next segment of our 6-part series, which is the heart expansion, which is going to be so vital in the work that you do, because you talk about third dimension and you talk about the fifth dimension. The third dimension was really all to do with the analytical mind. It all had to do with doing. What else can I do? And you were recognized, and you were acknowledged for how much you could do. But going into the heart and going into the expansion of the heart is all about the fifth dimension, and it's all about being. And some of us, it's easier to do because that's what we've been programmed for, than it is to be, because being is now going to require for us to actually learn to navigate a different way. Waxela?
Mm, that's really beautiful. Yeah, I'm just absorbing that. Yeah, the heart is the center of presence, right? I mean, I really feel like the heart is the portal to everything else. And part of what I feel and what I teach is that the heart is a hologram of the divine, of the whole. And when you activate the heart center and operate through the heart, everything is in balance. And that expansion happens because when you're operating through the heart, you're connecting to life, you're connecting to the world, and you're sharing your beingness with those around you. And it's less about thinking and doing, it's more about being in your presence. In the heart center, when the heart is activated and open, so much more presence is possible. And it's kind of the thing that it's hard to talk about because it's not about the words, it's about the feeling. And so many of us over the years from childhood on, we I think, maybe, I don't know, maybe babies start out completely open and then life happens, and your diaper gets dirty and you close down a little bit, and you fall down and gravity happens, and your parents yell at you, and the kids on the playground won't let you play, and and on and on and on. And then as adults, we've had these little series all along of closing down, now to come back and reopen up to that innocence, that childlike or even infant like purity of the heart, and to activate that again and be present with that purity that we truly are, is what the heart is about. And then living from there really does take you into a higher dimensional experience of life.
That's right. And the heart expansion, fourth of the series, is happening on May the 3rd. It will be a live event. And of course, you can go to Waxela's Facebook page, as well as my upliftinghumans.com Facebook page. And what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to send us questions live. And what we're going to do is we're going to lead you into your heart. Now, I do what they call the School of the Heart meditations, and I'm certified to, take you to a place of your heart, and then also to help you with taking your negative emotions out. Because remember now, The heart is the place of your authentic self. The heart is your truth. And so, what we're going to do is on May the 3rd, we're going to have this beautiful live event, and we'll go through stepping into the heart. And I will guide you through into the heart. And then what we'll do is we'll share some more teachings, wisdom, knowledge, understanding. And again, you can go to Waxela's Facebook page, or you can go to mine. And Waxela, if you can just maybe one more time, let everyone know what your Facebook page is.
It's, yeah, my Facebook page is my name. Again, same as my website, Waxela Sananda, and it's spelled Waxela. So the spelling is tricky, but it's across the board. It's my page and my website. So,
That's
so yeah, if
wonderful.
you can spell my name, you can find me.
Wonderful, wonderful. So looking forward to it, because I think the key is that if you're calibrating to and activating to the higher frequencies, you really need to tune into the heart. You need to understand how you need to come from the analytical mind and step into the heart. That's where we are today, and we look forward to that. Any last words, Waxela, before we tune out here?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone tuning in. And I'm excited to do the live events coming up. And thank you, Salindran, for being a host. I really appreciate you.
No problem. It's awesome. I just love working with you. You know that. Waxela, I don't even need to say it, because I'm sure that everyone out there already recognizes how we're able to bring so much experience, knowledge, understanding, and our authentic self forward for each other and for the listener. So, on that note, I'm your host, Salindran Buller, and thank you from Uplifting Humans, where we honor, empower, educate, and inspire the listener with real stories and expert advice. We look forward to hearing from you. Please share. And until next time, have a wonderful day.